no, how great. Aren't you so happy to be out of the house? Yeah. So happy. I have 2 little boys. Oh my God, boys obsessed with the penis. Right, sir? Yes. My 4-year-old says to me today, he goes, Mommy, where's your big penis? I'm like, it's in the top left-hand drawer, if you really must know. My kids hate my cooking. The little one says to the big one, even our noodles are bad. The big one says to me tonight, he goes, he's very honest, he says, Mommy, Grandma's a better cook than you. The only thing that you make that better than what Grandma makes is soup. And that's because you make less of it. I'm like, oh, that's so interesting, because the only thing I like about you better than your little brother is that your school day is longer. He's overly honest. The little one's a bit of a liar. He's a bit of a liar. He says to me, we were at a birthday party, he'd eaten a couple of cupcakes. He's a little fat, chubby, whatever. And he says to me, may I have another cupcake? And I said, no. And he turns to the mom of the kid who's having the party, and he says, may I have another cupcake? She said, your mommy said no. And he goes, that's not my mommy. The kid would throw me under a bus. Under a bus for a couple, right? They ask a lot of questions, the kids, right? They ask so many, and there's stuff you can't, that's really, it hurts your head, some of the questions they ask, like, and you don't even know how to answer. They're like, what's the difference between wind and air? How many pennies can fit in my room? How many pennies can fit in the whole world? Right? And then they ask things that you actually know the answer to, but you're kind of screwed up. And my son says to me, he goes, Mommy, what's a baby cow called? I'm like, a veal. And I realized like my head was hurting, so I did like the Oprah thing. Like I go into my room, I like take the deep breath, right? And I come out and I say, honeybee, can we go 5 minutes? 5 minutes, please, with no questions. Why, Mama, why? Why no questions? Don't you love me? I love you. Why don't you love me? 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 Why don't you? I called my husband and told him this. He's like, now you know what it's like to have a wife.